back with another episode. Sorry, it's been a minute. Um, First and foremost, I've been lazy, not really recording YouTube videos. But I gotta get back and get consistent. Also, too, thank y'all for those that have shared or subscribed to my channel. We're growing, man, and I'm thankful for support. That's why I want to keep doing these YouTube videos because y'all have shown support and love. It's weird, but I also somewhat enjoy like showing another side of me in my fitness or in my thought process. And y'all get to know me for me. That's really it. Spring is here. So I definitely can make more time to do more videos, being outside, and also too showing more fitness videos as well. All right. So today's topic, I want to talk about a word that some people feel like is a curse word. They don't know how to take it. They don't know what it is. And I feel like this word has definitely been a prominent word in my life for the past like 5 to 6 years, and I'm still learning it. I'm not saying I'm the best at it, but can I get a drum roll? Accountability. Say it one more time. Accountability. So today we're going to talk about just accountability, the art of accountability, why accountability is so important to me. I have a few steps, a few reasons as to why accountability is so important. It's definitely important for me now due to the fact of one, it's 2026. Number two, I'm 32 years old. I'm about to be 33 in a couple months. I don't got time to not take accountability for things that are in my life, situations that come to my life, or just in general. It's time for me to really, really be accountable. And also, too, it's time for you to be accountable. All right, let's start off with the first point. I'm just going to start off with a punch to the gut. Sometimes it's you, gang. It's not me. It's not them. It's you. And I say that because you got to really start being accountable for your decision making, for your actions, the people that you date, the people that you attract, the foods that you eat. Sometimes you're the reason why that relationship failed. Sometimes you're the reason why your health is the way it is. Sometimes it's the reason you attract the same type of man, same type of woman, and you wonder, why am I always in this situation? Why am I always getting cheated on? You got to start looking at yourself and the decisions that you make. This is not a dating channel, but I'll give you an example. If the same person that broke your heart before has the same red flags, or they show you their true colors and you continue to date that person, after a while, it's not them, it's you. Same thing with your health. If you continue to eat bad stuff all the time and you go to the doctors and they say, sir or ma'am, you're dealing with this, it's you. So sometimes it is you. And you got to start looking at you. And that's the first step, in my opinion, to accountability. All right, so I figure I'd just kick off this video with that. Get it out of the way. Sometimes it's you. What is accountability? What is the definition of accountability? Accountability is the obligation or willingness to take responsibility for one's actions, decisions, and outcomes, including being answerable for results and accepting consequences when expectations are not met. So let's talk about why accountability is so important. I have 6 points and some sub points to go with it. I want to give y'all a very descriptive points to why accountability is so important. These are just my points. And if some or all resonate with you, put a wolf in the comment section and let me know which one resonates with you the most. So the first reason as to why accountability is so important. One, it builds and accelerates personal growth. You stop blaming other people and circumstances. Like I said in the beginning, you really, really got to look in tune with yourself and really think, okay, why did this relationship go the way it went? Why do I pick and choose the same type of person? Why do I pick and choose the same type of job? What do I need to do to change? Once you stop blaming other people and circumstances and you start looking at yourself, for me, it's like a light bulb, right? I start to replay a lot of situations in my head. That's just me. But if you start to do that, hold yourself accountable, I guarantee you, your decision making is going to increase and it's going to be better. And that's where it builds the personal growth. It builds the maturity, builds the way to see situations for what they are, and takes you back or gives you reminders as to why, all right, this person's not right for me because I was in a weird situation with that person. So let me keep it pushing and let me hold myself accountable. The other reason as to why it builds and accelerates personal growth is kind of like the point I just made. You start to learn from your mistakes. Again, holding yourself accountable. If you keep making the same mistake, and blaming the other person, where is the growth? Where's the change in the mindset? Where's the change in the habits? You're not going to learn anything. You're legit going in a circle at the same time. It's toxic after a while if you don't take accountability and don't learn from your mistakes, because now it's not a mistake. You're just intentionally doing that. That's just my opinion. Now, the next reason as to why it builds and accelerates personal growth, the mindset turns failures or losses into lessons. We've all heard that saying, it's not a loss, it's a lesson, right? I can speak about my past relationship where, bro, I ain't take accountability for nothing, yo. Anytime my ex or anytime a person came to me and told me how they felt about my decision making or just how I move, I took it as and saw it as a burden. I saw it as a critique. I didn't look at what I was doing. And then that relationship ended due to her breaking up with me and my toxic, excuse my language, mom, my toxic ass, the stuff that I was doing. I was cheating. I was just being disrespectful. And not only was I disrespecting her, the relationship, I was disrespecting myself by not holding myself accountable. So when she broke up with me, my immature mindset at the time was like, all right, she's losing out on me, but I'm gonna show her why she lost out on me, instead of looking back and realizing what I was doing that was wrong and taking accountability for it. Now, later down the line, as I learned to heal and get closer to God, God showed me where I messed up. That was easier for me to take accountability and look at my decision making and look at my actions and even look at my spirit and my heart. The way I was going and what I was being led by were certain things that were not conducive to my walk with God. So therefore, I cannot hold anything accountable, any type of action that I did as accountability. I didn't even know what accountability was. I didn't even know how to spell accountability. I could barely even say it as it is right now. Honestly, it's just like turned my losses into lessons. And now that I'm in a whole new relationship, now I'm in a whole new mindset, I'm able to look back and realize, yo, I don't want to put no one else through that. It makes it easier for me to be accountable for my action. Now, the next point as to why it builds and accelerates personal growth. Growth begins when the excuses end. For me, and I can only speak this for me, I knew that I was at a point where I didn't have time to sit here and constantly make excuses anymore. If I hurt you, or if I did something wrong, or if I messed up, let's cut out the fat and be like, you know what? It's my fault. It was me. I can give you a perfect example with accountability, with the lack of excuses. I wasn't the best worker at certain jobs. I would just go through the motions. I would just say I did something just to do something. And there was times in one job that I was making constant mistakes. And the manager had to come in and ask me, hey, why are you making all these mistakes? What's going on? I ended up like lying and saying all these excuses. And after a while, she was like, listen, I don't want to hear excuses. I want to know what's going on and how we can fix it. And I don't know why that stuck with me and I applied it to my life. But even in my job currently, when I make mistakes, it's just like, hey, that's my fault. I wasn't paying attention. And my boss like, okay, just pay attention next time. And even in real life situations where if I hurt someone, I don't really try to be defensive. I don't really try to go back and forth. And sometimes it's hard. It's really hard because we always want to defend ourselves. We always want to have an excuse. We always want to have a reason of why we do certain things. And we always want to be understood. But I notice with accountability, it's not always meant for us to be understood all the time. We have to understand the other party. That's why it's so helpful to take accountability, because once you have the understanding and once you take out the excuses, it builds a different type of connection, not only with that other person or the group of people, but with yourself. That's just growth in general. So we went over why accountability is so important. And the first point is it builds and accelerates personal growth. Now we're on to the second point. The second point is it builds discipline and consistency. It reinforces following through. Consistency is something that I truly lack. And consistency is really just hard. It's one of those things you got to learn how to master, and you're going to continue to learn how to master with anything. But I knew back in when I was just younger, even in my past relationship and even the time before that, I was not consistent with anything. I wasn't consistent with my walk with God. I wasn't consistent with my workout regimen. I wasn't consistent with my eating. Shoot, I don't even remember really going to the gym like that the way I do. But I just wasn't consistent with anything. I just was inconsistent. I was up and down. I was moving off of emotion. It got to one point where I had to hold myself accountable. I looked at myself in the mirror and didn't like the way my body looked. And I was like, you know what? I got to stop acting like I can eat everything that I want to eat and think that I have a good body or think that I could get the body that I desire. It wasn't going to work, right? I had to hold myself accountable and learn the proper foods to eat, to build muscle, to lose weight, even incorporate fasting. Where my spirit was directed or heading, I had to also get closer to God. I had to hold myself accountable and be like, God, you know what? I cannot do this on my own. I need you. All right. And even in the spiritual walk, when I get off the path, I run back to God because I gotta follow through, and I know the type of man that I want to be, and that's a godly man at first. The reason why accountability is so important because it builds discipline and consistency. You're more inclined to show up for work, in the gym, and other things. Like I said earlier, and gave those examples of work and gym. It's the same thing, and even in real life situations, I feel like the discipline and consistency in the work in the gym are important things. But I think for me, and I probably will touch on this point later, is knowing that people know that you hold yourself accountable. I don't know why. It's not that I care about what other people think. It's more so just people know when they see me in the gym or when they see me doing my job at work, they know that, okay, Josh must hold himself accountable. Swift must hold himself accountable if he's doing so well, if he's consistent. And I just think about that because sometimes we do wonder what people think, and we do care about what other people think. But when people know and feel like you hold yourself accountable and your work shows it, whether it be in your body, whether it be in your gym, whether it be how you just handle situations, to me, that's just a really big thing. The third reason why accountability is important is because it earns trust and respect. As a trainer, right, this is my example. As a trainer, I try to keep my body in shape, not because of the people, but just in general for me. That's me holding myself accountable. I try to keep my body in shape to break generational curses. It's an investment in myself. Now, when I am training someone or someone wants me to train them, the investment that I put into myself, into my body, will hopefully help with them, with the person that wants me to train them, because they see my body, they see how accountable I am. And with me holding myself accountable, I can help someone hold themselves accountable too. Right? So they trust me with the workout plan. They trust me with the diet plan. Even in situations, in relationships and friendships, when you hold yourself accountable, it helps people to trust you and respect you. People trust and love people who own their own actions as well. In relationships, right? Especially something that I'm learning. If I hurt you or if I did something that I know that's wrong, and I have to be in a mature mindset to know that it's wrong or know that it may bother you and may not bother me, I have to take accountability for that. There's got to be some empathy with that too as well, but that's another word and another time for another topic, or another topic for another time. When you own your own actions and people see that and you're genuine with that, to me, there's something about that where it just is very honorable. And I'm able to take the trust or the love for you in a whole nother level. If I'm disagreeing with my homeboys or with my friends and my family, and I just hit you with the, you know what, yo, my bad, I didn't mean to make you feel that way. I know I raised my tone and I shouldn't have. I'm taking accountability for my actions. There's something about that. Something about that softens the heart. Not only does it earn trust and respect, but it shows maturity, integrity, and reliability. Again, I don't really care what people think, but one thing I do want people to know, especially if they're close in my circle or in my family, that I'm mature, I'm integrous, and I'm reliable. I want people to know that it's a safe space for them to talk to me, and a safe space is not just for them to say anything that I want to say, but it's also too that I hold myself accountable. But on the flip side, as my homie, as my friend, if you're doing something wrong, I'm gonna hold you accountable too. All right. A lot of people forget that when it comes to the friendships or just accountability. It's holding others to be accountable. Especially if you got a homie that you know can do a lot better in life or is making bad decisions, you also got to hold him accountable, saying like, bro, I know you could do better than this. You know damn well this is not your purpose. You know damn well this is bringing you to a path that you never wanted to go down to. All right, so it's the same thing. A lot of people forget that though. So the next reason as to why accountability is so important is because it earns trust and respect and reduces defensiveness. Yo, this point right here is probably the most triggering and traumatizing point. One, because I have been defensive before, like really defensive. Like anything that was said to me based off of how I treated someone or what I did always came with an excuse. And it never came with me being empathetic, never came with me trying to understand. Put it this way. You've heard that saying, yo, you're listening to respond. That was me. All right. And that was tiring to do looking back. And then on top of that, too, dealing with a defensive ass person. Sorry, mom, for cursing, but it's the truth. It is so tiring. Someone that you truly love and you try to express to them what they're doing, how they bothers you or what they're doing in general, they take it as a critique. They take it as an attack. Put it this way. Let me talk about the trust and respect. It's hard to trust someone that's constantly defensive. Trust them with your feelings, with their emotions, with just being vulnerable. And on top of that, too, it's hard to respect them because it's like you don't respect what I feel when I'm telling you something and I'm telling you something out of respect. So why should I respect your feelings? And not only does it take away the trust and respect, it makes you very hard to be loved. Like being accountable to me is, it may not be a love language, but it should be a love language. When someone is able to be accountable for their actions and to change their actions or put in effort to change their actions, put it that way, that's already love for themselves as it is. All right. But one thing I do know about being accountable, it does reduce the defensiveness. I don't want to be defensive because it prolongs so much stuff and it's just tiring, bro. It is tiring. But this is definitely a triggering and traumatizing point. I'll be honest with you. Now we on to the fourth point. Accountability increases confidence and self-control. The gym aspect and then just the health aspect. I come from a family that we had to eat everything on the plate for dinner. You couldn't throw out any type of food. Some of y'all may resonate with that type of lifestyle being born into that. What I noticed as I was older, it built a mindset for me to eat everything and overeat. And I come from a family where we really didn't eat the healthiest stuff. Now that I'm older, now that I'm a personal trainer, now that I view my body as a temple, view my body or putting the things in my body as an investment, I also have to be accountable for the things that I eat and how I eat. Okay. I don't need to eat till I'm constantly stuffed. I don't need to eat certain things that I know will shoot up my damn blood pressure. All right. I don't need to be eating McDonald's every night or every other night. I don't need to be eating Chinese food every other day. Right. I don't need to have a cheat meal every other day. Like I cannot do that. I'm in the mindset. I used to be in the mindset where it's like, yo, I work out, I'm healthy. No. Gotta watch the food that you eat. So I started being accountable for the things that I put into my body, being accountable with the things that I watch, the people that I'm around, discussions that I have, the music that I listen to. I'm at a point in my spiritual journey that my spirit sometimes doesn't desire the things that it used to desire. It evokes a type of emotion and a thought process that I should not be having. It takes me away from God. Me being accountable, it increases my confidence to know that, like, all right, my body looks good. Increases confidence to know that, all right, I'm living a healthier lifestyle. It increases my confidence and self-belief that I'm getting closer to God. I can hear God. Also, too, in a self-control tip, I'm able to have self-control with my food. Ask my girl right now. She even said, yo, when I first met you, you used to eat like crazy. Now you don't eat the same. Bro, it got to a point where, and it still gets to a point, I barely use my microwave because I don't really eat a lot of microwavable or processed foods. Am I perfect? No, I'm not. I'll be crashing out here and there, but I know that I cannot crash out with food or overeat food all the time. All right. So that's where my self control is at. And another thing, too, now that I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize people that are older than me, people that have been living on this earth for a while, they really don't have self control. Self control isn't just with your emotions, it's also in your habits. Like I said, that right there was the start of the lack of self control. I used to be a bigger bull. I would just eat all the time, but I would eat till I was overly stuffed. I didn't eat till I was satisfied. I was eat till I was like stuffed where I couldn't talk, couldn't walk, couldn't breathe. That's greed. That's disgusting. All right. So sorry to key up on that point, but I started holding myself to a higher standard, and that's what some people got to do. And when you hold yourself accountable, you now holding yourself to a higher standard. And when you're chasing that higher standard, then it's easier for you to take accountability. Okay. Not only does it increase confidence and self control, but you stop playing and being the victim and you see yourself as someone who can control outcomes through effort. Effort is the biggest word in there. A lot of people think just accountability saying, all right, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Bro, I can tell you that I'm wrong right now. And I can go do the same thing that I was doing before this video or what I was doing years ago. There's got to be effort, man. There's got to be effort with that. So you got to put in the work to change. You got to put in the work to change your attitude. You got to put in the work to change your eating habits. You got to put in the work to change your body. And you got to put in the work to change your walk with God. If you got to eliminate certain things, if you got to remove yourself from a certain crowd, if you got to stop watching certain things, that's you holding yourself accountable. That is the first step of accountability. It may seem hard because you may have a soul tie or a tie to it. That's a different conversation, a different video for another time. Then you got to go to God with that. But you going to God is already be accountable. I know for me, there's certain things that I cannot break off with my own strength. God, I cannot do this on my own. I need you. I'm holding myself accountable, knowing that like I cannot do this without God. I cannot do this with my own strength. But also too, I cannot see myself as a victim. That's one of the worst things you could do is to see yourself as a victim, see yourself as sheep. All right. Like, why I always even ask this, why do people want to see themselves as a victim? And I personally think it's a mindset thing or they've been doing it for so long that they want to see themselves as a victim. Like, I don't see the point in being a victim. You want to be compromised. I'd rather just take accountability. I'd rather just try to change my ways. I'd rather just do my best to be a better person than to play victim. But I really think that people have done it for so long that they don't know the difference, or they don't even know how to take accountability. They're so comfortable being the victim. And that's a sheep mindset. That's not a wolf mindset. But we're going to talk about that later. All right. The fifth point as to why accountability is so important: it improves problem solving. It's easier to solve problems when you take responsibility. Bro. I know for me, this is me being vulnerable and being accountable. I have an attitude where I don't want to entertain stupidity. But now I really want to solve problems. I want to find solutions. I want us to talk these things out. If I have to own my own actions for us to find a solution, I'll do that. I don't got time to be going back and forth and doing the whole back and forth. I don't got time to be texting back and forth. Hey, do you want to hop on a call? Do you want to meet up? What are we doing here? Are we gonna be cool or are we not? Do you want to save this relationship or not? Do you want to be friends or not? What are we doing here? I just think for me, like, problem solving is the number one thing on my mind. Now, a slight tip: when you're trying to problem solve something, come in there with the right heart and with the right mind. You could be ready to solve a problem, but your mind and your heart and even your tongue with the words that you say and how you respond may not be right. You may not be ready. Take that time to really pray and think like, hey, am I ready to solve this problem? And if you're not, that is okay. That's you taking accountability. Now, the sixth point of why accountability is so important. And before I get into this point, I really want to talk about why this is an important point for me. And again, if any other points resonate with you, put a wolf in the comment section. All right. For those that don't know or do know, I try to live my life as a godly man. Not perfect, but I'm progressing. I also, too, try to live my mindset as a wolf. My mindset is a wolf. All right. I'm constantly on the hunt. I'm constantly on the hunt to destroy the old things and be on the hunt for the new things. There's a difference between the wolves and the sheep. I feel like today we living in a world with a lot of sheep where they're being led to a slow slaughter. We got AI coming into play. We got unhealthy things being promoted. We got the only things. We got all these things, man, and it's just people are just normalizing it like it's okay, and it's truly not. But again, we don't need to get into that conversation right now. What I'm trying to say is, as a wolf, I'm hunting purpose. I'm hunting to be a better person. Me hunting, I know that I cannot be entertaining certain things. I cannot be watching certain things. I cannot be involving myself in certain things. I cannot be drinking every weekend. I cannot be overeating. I sound like a broken record, but this is me being accountable. That's a wolf's mindset. So the reason why I bring this point, which is the sixth point, the reason why accountability is so important is because it separates the wolves from the sheep. Wolves ask, what could I've done better? Where sheep ask, whose fault it is, and point the finger and make excuses. I'm at a point in my life I cannot make no more excuses. I'm at a point in my life where I have to be accountable. If I want to go to the next step in my life, if I want to go to the next step in my purpose, I have to be accountable. I cannot sit here and make excuses as to why this didn't happen. Do certain things happen? For sure. Real life events happen? For sure. But if I'm lacking in my finances because I'm overspending and overeating and going out and partying, that's my fault, right? If my health is not right due to my actions or inactions or what I'm putting in my body or what I'm deciding not to put in my body, that is my fault, right? I don't got time for that. I don't got time to treat people a certain way and expect to be loved. I don't got time, and I'll hit y'all with this one, and I'm not trying to preach. I have to be accountable in my spiritual walk. So I cannot ask God for forgiveness when I have not forgiven my neighbor, when I haven't forgiven my friend. All right. I got to be accountable. So I cannot point the finger anymore. I just don't got it in me. And there's no excuses no more. All right. So we went through all the 6 points. We went through all the 6 points of why accountability is so important. The first point is it builds and accelerates personal growth. Number 2, it builds discipline and consistency. 3, it earns trust and respect. 4, increases confidence and self-control. 5, it improves problem solving. And 6, it separates the wolves from the sheep. Now, this last point, I guess, it's not necessarily a point, but it's the last thing I want to talk about because I feel like a lot of people don't intertwine these two. I want to talk about the spiritual aspect of taking accountability or the spiritual aspect of just accountability in general. With me building my relationship with God, constantly having him get to know me or me getting to know him, let's put it that way. He knows my thoughts. He knows my faults. He knows everything. There's things he knows on my heart that I'm struggling with. He knows my desires, whether it be of him or not. And I have to give and turn over those things. Like, for example, the lust thing. I'm going to say it. It's something that I cannot fight off with my own strength, and I have to submit that to God, right? But I feel like God already knows what we're going to do before we do it. And if he knows that, then he must love accountability. He does love when we humble ourselves. And that's a form of accountability too. And we try to change it through effort. But we cannot do it on our own. I know I cannot do this life without him. There's certain things that require a different type of strength, a spiritual strength, a godly strength that he can only give to me. All right. But that's me being accountable. Every time I sin, every time I do wrong, every time I respond in the wrong way or a way that's not conducive or respond in a way that doesn't represent him, I have to go and ask for forgiveness. And that leads to my next point, just turning and repenting, a form of accountability, admitting that I am wrong, but doing my best to repent. Repenting isn't just saying, all right, God, I'm sorry for sinning and go back and doing it again. It's, hey, I am sorry, Lord, forgive me, and turning away from that sinful actions, doing your best. We're going to mess up, but don't use that as a hall pass to mess up every time so you can go back and forgive, to do it again, ask forgiveness and do it again. It's not like that. You got to constantly fight. This life, this walk is not easy. You got to pick up your cross every single day. And that right there, picking that thing up, picking that joint up, is already hard as it is. But that's accountability. Now, this last point of the spiritual aspect is something that I noticed growing up in church, something that I noticed growing up in my childhood. Like a common saying in the church, there's a common saying all the time where they blame the devil for everything. Now, disclaimer, and I'm not going to give him airtime. Is the devil real? For sure. We already know what his purpose is, to kill, steal, and destroy. We already know his purpose, so we won't even get into that. But we got to stop blaming everything on the devil. You ever seen that 50 Cent meme where he was like, why you say me for?
I'm like, what do you say me for?
That's what I feel like the devil does when we blame him. He will take credit for it though, right? Because he's a liar. But we got to stop blaming the devil for everything. Like I said in the beginning, it is you. It's not the devil sometimes. Sometimes you got to look at your heart. You got to ask God to reveal your heart. Ask God to reveal the certain things that's in your life. You got to even ask God to change your heart posture, change your desires. But stop blaming the devil for everything. To me, that's just a sorry excuse. That's a sorry excuse. And we can't sit here and say we trust God and love God and we are supposed to be lights of the world when everything that comes your way, you blame the devil. Stop giving him so much credit. It's you. Look at you. All right. Listen, this is my rant, my spiel, whatever you want to call it, about accountability. You can see how passionate I am about it because I do believe accountability will change your life entirely, will change your relationships entirely, and also too will change your spiritual walk entirely. I'm only a messenger, but that's really it. But thank you for tuning into the episode, man. I'm really trying to be more consistent. I got a burpee episode. I got this burpee workout that y'all gonna really like. So that's coming soon. I have merch. I sell some hoodies. I sell Scullies. I also have some t-shirts left over if you want to go buy some at swiftgainz.com. And then I'm getting tanks. All right. Summer is upon us. It's spring now, but summer's gonna be here like this. All right. If you want to follow me on social media, on IG and TikTok, my handle is swiftgainz_7 on IG and TikTok. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, you like the video, and share it. I love y'all. Y'all have been supportive, and I really do love y'all. The subscriber list is going up, so that shows they like y'all really, really, really bang with me, and I want to keep it that way, y'all. And you already know, either you pray or you pray. The choice is yours. I can't make it for you, but you can. All right, love y'all. Peace.